Spare my brothers! Ah!
That didn't look nice.
Oi! You're new here, aren't you?
Fable is a 2004 action RPG developed by Lionhead Studios. The game spawned the great series you may know and love, and I actually played this game last out of all of them. Completely missed my radar, and I ended up playing Fable 2 when all my friends were at school. Boy did I miss out. The story takes place within the fictional land of Albion. An unnamed hero joins the Heroes Guild after losing his family during a bandit attack on his hometown. Upon leaving the guild, the player is given a choice to decide whether the hero should live up to his name or guide him on a path of darkness. This video will cover both alignments, and this game has a surprising amount of depth and player agency on how you want to roleplay here, really catering to all tastes. It's honestly a gem, and comparing it to its sequels, I can see why many people hold it as their favourite. There's a real high stakes hero's journey at its core, accented by comedy without losing its bearings, and the combat is awesome. I honestly think that future games don't really capture the same depth, both for the combat and the plot, systems in general, all that cool factor that we're really looking for. It's probably best we just dive in and you can see what I mean by all that. Expect spoilers as we find out what it takes to become a hero and either save the world or plunge it into eternal misery.
Ah, you're as bad as that stinking beggar. I'm out of here.
As with many heroes, ours has humble beginnings. A boy from a small town of Oakvale, unchanged by time and untouched by the sword as the narrator tells us. We are a boy who dreamed of great things, becoming a great knight, a powerful wizard, or perhaps even an evil warrior. None of these dreams could hope to capture the destiny that fate was about to spring on us. Our first great quest is to celebrate our sister's birthday. We've not gotten her a present, and well,
I'm not bailing you out this time, son.
Daddy will give us a gold piece for each good deed we perform, and luckily a trader here is selling a box of chocolates for just 3 gold pieces. There's a variety of tasks we can go through here, from finding a girl's lost teddy bear and either saving her friend from bullies, or joining in with the bullies and stealing the teddy bear for some quite sad dialogue.
Oh no! First this boy was being nasty to me, and now you're hitting me too! Me and Emily just wanted to play with Rosie. I don't know what I've done. Someone tell me what I've done.
You can help a woman confront her cheating husband or accept his bribe. Perhaps watch over a man's warehouse or smash his crates because a kid told you to. When we get the chocolates, regardless of which alignment you went through, we go to our sister Teresa, and it's revealed she's been having strange dreams. We give her the chocolates, and it seems her dreams are actually prophetic.
I knew you were going to bring me chocolates. It's just like my dream. Come on, let's go home. Mother will be back for my party any minute now.
The worst happens. Bandits attack, just like her dream, and so we hide, watching the peaceful town of Oakvale be slaughtered by those come to plunder her. We've no clue why the bandits are after our family, but we will later. They murder our father, kidnap our mother and sister, and as they head off, we're given the Batman treatment. We run to go and find our father, not knowing he's dead. As we do, a bandit attacks, but we're saved by an exceptionally creepy looking wizard.
We must leave. It's not safe here. They're all dead. You don't want to join them, do you? Then give me your hand.
We're teleported away, and when we go to fight this man off, he tells us the situation. He is Maze, head of the Heroes Guild. They'll adopt us and train us so that we might get our vengeance. We're introduced to the guildmaster, who's not overly confident we'll make a good hero, but still takes us to our dorm room and tells us we'll meet our roommate Whisper in the morning. As he leaves the room, our young hero cries, mourning both the family and the simple life he's lost. Whisper wakes us and is rather brash in her tone. Her brother is a great hero, and so she's probably got a case of living in his shadow. Our first task here at the guild is to meet the master out back and begin our training. Now, if you want it to be evil from the get-go, the game will actually take you to the head's office if you start punching on anyone here.
Actions are not tolerated. This is... I hope you're not going to make a habit of doing this. We've been very lenient with your behavior, but no more. The guild won't stand for this kind of behavior. Now clear off and keep your nose clean.
If you weren't an utter psychopath, we'll just head to training if that's alright. We start with the basics, hit a straw dummy, and then utilise a stick to do the same, noting our moveset is tied to our weapon, and that by killing creatures we can gain experience points. We smash a few beetles in the woods as our first impromptu quest, and then time skip to when we're a teenager for the rest of our training, exercising and studying the methods and history of heroes in the background. The real training has us learning the 3 methods of combat. Strength, using sword strikes, dodges and flourishes to beat the snot out of Whisper while her brother Thunder watches us. He loves his sister, and both of them are dicks to us about being a farm boy. Our second discipline is archery, or as it's referred to in the game, skill. The crux of it is the longer you draw your arrow, the more damage you'll do with it. You can even free aim in an over-the-shoulder perspective, with certain weak spots only accessible that way. Then we learn of magic, starting with lightning, which is a spell I'll just forget as there's much better ones not too later on. We age up once more and begin our final exam, basically doing these 3 things again but on Maze this time. There's some nice words from the Guildmaster, and then we attend our graduation ceremony in the Chamber of Fate, the oldest part of the guild. It's just myself and Whisper it seems though. The weird thing is that the Heroes Guild doesn't seem to mind if you're good or evil. It's a very interesting thing that differentiates Fable's morals from most other games. Regardless of your morality, you're never limited in your options or locked out of content later on. You could be an absolute angel for the whole game and then start taking quests attacking traders. Give all your money to the Church of Light, literally have a halo around your head and still achieve the game's bad boy ending. Good people can do bad things and bad people can be redeemed if they wish. It's fun. I'm not pressured into sticking to only seeing half of the game's content, and I'm able to make my own choices, which really isn't that what RPGs are all about. Anyway, we step out into the world ready to undertake a few quests as an official hero. On the way to dispatch some giant wasps, we'll see a homeless man being preyed upon by a bully boy. You can either fart at the bully to get him gone, or burp at the homeless man. Inconsequential, but just laying down you can make choices here. Head to the picnic spot to discover a rather large bug problem. You're free to take out the bugs through any discipline. After a dozen or so are taken out, we encounter a boss unique to this area, the Wasp Queen, who does require something ranged to take her out. In this game, it is actually worth investing in all 3 combat styles, as opposed to just min-maxing one of them. You get individual bits of XP for each skill, and then one general pot of XP that goes along with it. So there's always options to train one skill and level another up if you want. After enough arrows, the Wasp Queen melts into nothingness, and we're congratulated by the people there. Clearly, we've grown a lot from that scared child whose family got run out by bandits. We're then summoned to Maze to meet him in Bowerstone, the big capital of the region, apparently for important business. In towns like Bowerstone, you can engage in a few side quests, shopping, or even a few gambling mini-games. There's even a fight ring in Bowerstone. We're alerted to be on our best behaviour around the mayor though, and then speak to Maze in the tavern. He asks us if we've been enjoying all the hero attention, and after some back and forth gives us a big reveal.
I thought those bandits had killed your whole family, and that you were going to be next. But it seems there may have been another survivor. Your sister. I'm afraid it's only a rumor, and there's no way to be certain yet, but I thought you should know.
I take some side quests before I move on, one having 2 sides to it. Whichever side you take, Whisper will do the opposite, seemingly just to compete with us. Someone will have to correct me in the comments, but I believe these are the only sort of quests that lock you out of another when completed. Orchard Farm have found some mysterious stones, which don't get elaborated on later at all. Lady Grey wants them and 6 bandits on the farm. Now you can either defend the boxes with the guards, or cut your way through with the bandits. The evil option is much quicker to achieve. In fact, most evil options in this game are quicker quests. But in both missions, Whisper will come in to attack you and you face off with her. Eventually, she admits defeat. The next actual main story quest involves escorting a few traders across Darkwood to Barrow Fields. The purpose of the quest really is to introduce us to escort quests, which there aren't too many of, and, well, it introduces us to Balverines, essentially werewolves in this setting. As we start escorting our merchants, a third appears.
Ah, help! Something bit me and left me for dead. Please, let me come with you.
We can't let him follow. He's infected. He'll be eating our guts before we know it.
We have sworn a traitor oath. We have to help him.
It seems a bad idea to take him, but I fancy the extra gold and the challenge. It's not like he's going to spontaneously turn into a werewolf, right? Right. Speaking of, we encounter one ahead, and they're suitably spooky looking, arguably spookier than their appearance in the sequel. For escort missions, you don't actually need to lead them to the level exit, you can just run there yourself and they'll teleport. Likewise, you can use the heal spells on your escorts, so I never really found the missions to be that much of a hassle like there can be in other games. Safe to say, we escort our merchants, fight a troll, which is just as tanky as you'd imagine, and the other trader turns, so well we slap him down, like a vagrant on the bus fighting you for a chicken leg. The traders end up in Barrow Fields where the sun magically doubles in brightness, and there's a great example of a demon door. See, demon doors normally have some challenge for you to complete or some puzzle to solve before they open and give you their treasure. Some are locked behind story events. The one here wants you to eat yourself into obesity, which I guess is body positive.
I'm not interested in your meager I want beefy, blubbery, plump, porcine. Stop being a slave to public perception and treat yourself. Pies, meat, beer, anything, but lots of it.
It turns out the Barrow Fields we escorted those merchants to is right next to Oakvale, and so we go and take a nosy at our hometown. We even spot the girl whose teddy we recovered, and our hero has a literal mental break. I quite like how they keep that human element, the crying when we get to the Heroes Guild, the unhinged nature of the episode right now. We're troubled, and for a character who never speaks, we're actually quite well written. We'll meet Maze in Oakvale, and he tells us a blind seeress lives among the ex-hero Twinblade's bandit camp. That was a mouthful. He may be able to locate our sister if we can get there. Maze gives us some exposition on Twinblade.
Have you heard of Twinblade? He was a hero once. Yes, giant of a man. He had little patience for the guild, though. He left and brought together a dozen bandit factions. I always suspected he was behind the attack on your home. This could be your chance for revenge.
It sounds like a great quest so far. Sneak into a bandit camp, oust their king, and find our sister. Suitably high stakes and cool. You probably won't be saying that after we actually get going, but the villagers near us are excited at least.
That's my man!
When we go over to the outskirts of the bandit camp, you're given your early 2000s stealth section, and it's especially painful in this game. Luckily, I think it's the only mandatory stealth section. The guards themselves seem to just zone in on you regardless of how you attempt to sneak past them. I found the easiest method was to intentionally be seen, hide behind this rock here after you've cleared the guards out, and then gun it as soon as their replacements return to position. Once you're actually in the gates, the stealth in the game is over, and we now need to fight our way through swathes of Scotch bandits whilst we loot a full uniform from chests strewn about. It's exceptionally combat heavy, but the combat is rather fun in this game, especially when you pepper in a bit of strategy, firing off arrows ahead of encounters or just mainlining health potions like your Bane in the DCU. There's even dodging and rolling and blocking and things you'd expect from later games of the type. We can then enter Twinblade's camp, and we need to procure a camp pass from someone here. Now, I managed to accrue the gold for it by playing Spot the Difference with this local game master, but you can buy one from someone else. Then, when you have to go through another gate, you get to an elite camp, and honestly, there's so many walls here we might as well be in Marley. If you're evil, you can pay a few assassins to cause a diversion to get you through the next gate, or if you're a good boy, you can free Twinblade's entertainment, a load of women locked up in cages. However you choose to distract the bandits, you can then move in to find Twinblade himself, and he is an absolute mountain of a man. His blind fortune teller told him a hero would come, which makes sense, all the paranoia with getting into the camp, the 900 gates we had to go through. But the fight against this brute is fairly simple. It does have its own mechanics though, rather than just being like the rest of the other fights. You basically got to bait him into stabbing the ground, and then you attack his exposed back. It's as simple as that, but it's a nice change. When you defeat him, he drops to the ground and asks us to finish him off. Then the fortune teller comes.
There you are. What's wrong? Don't you recognize your own sister?
Our sister Teresa has managed to get in deep with the bandits. Despite having her eyes cut out, she started off as a servant for Twinblade's clan and then managed to work her way up the ladder after Twinblade sensed her strength and her willpower, and the fact she could whisper prophecies. She's also a great fighter. Seems we both grew to be heroes of some kind. She then gives us our birthday present for missing so many of them, granting us some unknown power. I think it's just an XP buff. We're then given the choice to either kill or spare Twinblade. If you're evil, you can attack him and it will just restart the fight, but it opens up an area for some chests and some loot. Or you can just walk away and let his bandits deal with him and never see him again. Maze then requests us in his own quarters.
You have reached familiar status.
Maze comments on our progress over the last few years, and it's worth mentioning the game's time dynamics. Every time we level up, we go up in age about 0.7 of a year. This kind of pulls the whole timeline of the game under the microscope, but we can assume that this takes place over at least a few years. Anyway, Maze mentions folk have been asking for us to fight in the arena, and he gives us a quest of his own to head over to Witchwood on a whole new island and hunt down his missing archaeologist friend before more unsavoury types find him first. Before heading there, I bagged a few side quests, whomping Whisper in a hob killing contest as I'd grown to loathe her in her cocky attitude, attacking bandits to free some traders from their camp, and one really cool quest where we rescue a child from a hob cave, being able to rescue a bandit to help us, and when we go deep into the cave, we uncover that a fairy of some kind is performing a ritual on the child. And if you're evil enough, you can bring her a different innocent, including the bandit, to free the child, or as a good boy you can just attack her directly. When you get the boy back to his grandma's house, you realise grandma was abusive, and he flees the roost after we get our reward. Anyway, to Witchwood. When we head out, the first roadblock we hit is a rock golem. It looks fairly similar to the ones you'd find in Overlord, and is just as much of a hassle. All the golems and trolls have a similar moveset in this game. They throw blocks that stagger you at range, and if you're close they'll do an AoE that can also stagger you if you don't roll out of the way. They're really tanky, the health bars are too long for what they should be, and I hated them. If anyone's watching had any fond memories, or if I'm missing something fighting them, please tell me, because I just had a nightmare with them unless I chained together multiple busted spells. Our second roadblock, and well, where the archaeologist is hiding, is through a demon door that requires us to know its name. Only one person does, and they're at the Temple of Avo. Now there's 4 letters to choose from, but we'll get back to that in a second. Go to the temple, essentially the Temple of Light, and there's a couple of points of interest. You can donate gold here, and if you do, you get good morale, and if you do it enough, you can get a special weapon. Funnily enough, if you're evil and donate, your money counts a bit more. There's also a sword here you can try to pull King Arthur style, and unless you've got max strength, you won't be able to pull it the first time you come here. It benefits you to actually have low strength, then pull it, then level up once and pull it again.
Good luck. Give it all you've got.
Now an NPC here tells us the door's name is Hits, H-I-T-S, and so we head back to put that in. You can also type in the word S-H-I-T, which gets you attacked by Balverines and makes my inner child chuckle. There's a Temple of Scorn in a different area, which is essentially the opposite of the Temple of Light, and you can sacrifice followers there. And just like the Light Temple, if you're good and you sacrifice someone, the action counts a bit more. I guess it's more evil that a good person's doing human sacrifice. But put Hits in the door and head inside to see the archaeologist, and well, he's not happy we've arrived. He's been studying the focus sites around, and a hero known as the Jack of Blades is also interested in them, a name to keep an eye on, and we'll be meeting him soon. Head back through the area where the demon door was, and you'll either be attacked by guards or bandits, lured there actually by an NPC depending on your current alignment. It's very nice stuff. We need to help the folks of Knothole Glade with a Balverine problem before we can move on, and it's a bit of a filler quest. You learn that silver augmentations on weapons will deal more damage to Balverines, and their leader, the White Balverine, is a terrifying looking creature. Like, absolutely monstrous. They did a stellar job on the model here. Bloodborne must have took some pages from it later on. Now once you help the folks of the Glade, you've got enough renown to go into the arena for the next major quest, and really the start of the mid-game. The arena follows on directly from the quest in Knothole Glade. Something to note too, and you'll see here, is the citizens of Albion will constantly talk about you and your exploits, both good and bad. Be evil enough and they'll take off in fear, but good enough and they'll start rattling off about your different quests.
Brilliant play, sir.
Head into the arena now we're renowned enough to go in, and you'll get some exposition about the place as the guard walks us through their Hall of Heroes. It's a statue-filled hall of the heroes who've conquered the arena in the past. Hopefully, we'll be next in line here. The arena is essentially a mob rush. Waves of creatures we fought before, and for each round you complete without heading back in to get more supplies, the higher your bonus will be at the end of it. If you stocked up on potions, this shouldn't be an issue at all. There's no wacky commentary throughout the rounds like there is in Fable 2, and rather than just list off creatures in the order we fight them, I'm going to skip ahead slightly. Eventually, Whisper joins us in the doubles rounds as she helps to fight off the creatures with us. Some rounds are piss easy like the Balverines, and others are a bit rough when you start getting stun locked by golems throwing boulders at you. You do get one cool unique boss for the area, a giant scorpion named Arakanor, who does have some fun mechanics. It's too large to take on in melee without getting swatted around, but will have some very telegraphed openings for you to swing at its face for extra damage. Sometimes it will disappear into a pile of scorpions. It's nice to not steamroll a combat encounter, and the bosses for the most part accomplish this. It doesn't really get any lore exposition either, it just kind of appears and disappears. With the Scorpion eventually felled, the arena's special guest appears, Jack of Blades, the hero of heroes, who looks like he's definitely a good guy, and this is a good guy's voice, right?
I have returned, after an eternity away from you all. Jack of Blades is back.
We'll ignore his scheming and that whole archaeologist hiding from him as he asks us for a final round, a fight to the death between us and Whisper. She's much weaker than the trolls, and I was honestly happy to slap her down. I am number one in the Whisper anti-fan club. When you deal enough damage, you're given a moral choice, either walk away and leave her alive, or take the evil option and kill her for some bonus gold. Thunder will hate you either way, but he plots your demise if you kill his sister. Whichever way you go, when you leave, Lady Grey of Bowerstone comes and pays us some affection, telling us to come and see her in Bowerstone North, much to Thunder's angst.
Ah, there you are. The hero they're all talking about. I'm impressed. And that doesn't happen often.
My lady, if you would only
Thunder, I am tired of your protests, tired of your jealousy.
Depending on whether you killed his sister or not, the dialogue changes, but the cutscene is relatively the same. I think I just hate their whole family line. As we leave, we do see a couple of cool things. First, a statue of a heroine who'd conquered the arena, Scarlet Robe, which is a terrible name, but she is in fact our mother. This again has a bit of an emotional moment for our hero when we're almost awestruck by seeing her statue, we fall to our knees. Jack then comes to give us some good guy encouragement, confirming that we are her son and telling us to bring our sister to him so we can reunite the three of us. What a lovely guy. Mummy gets her own cutscene too.
This was the true face of his mother, Scarlet Robe, Slayer of Balverines.
Jack gives us an arena seal as a reward for our conquest, and before we can head off, a messenger from our sister tells us to meet her by the old Grey House. Heading there, she reveals that maybe Jack isn't a good guy after all. He led the bandits to burn down our home, and he cut out our sister's eyes, which is graphic. He's got Mummy locked up in a jail of his, and the archaeologist apparently knows a secret route in through a spooky graveyard. Jack's minions are hunting down our sister and the archaeologist. If we can save Mother, she can grant us some more power, and help us find a magic sword which may very well save the world. Heavy stuff, heavy enough to lead me to Bowerstone North. Turns out Lady Grey, the mayor, is actually fairly evil. You can romance her if you wish to go through a quest line of hunting down her missing jewellery and then fighting Thunder for her affections. You can't actually kill him in that fight either. Or you can speak to a man she's locked up who knows she's evil and wants our help proving it. You can find your way inside the Grey House to discover she had killed her sister, usurped her to become the mayor of Bowerstone. It doesn't help that Mr. Prisoner is a bit Alex Jones.
That woman is a demon, but no one will believe me. Just because I was wrong about the guards controlling our dreams by spiking our water supplies.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay!
But once you get the ghost of her sister to give a testimony, Lady Grey does try to win us over, and an evil character could take her up on her offer. If you don't become an accessory to her crime, she fades away off screen, plotting our demise. Or maybe she's executed, I'm not too sure. Either way, the position of mayor becomes available and we can take it, for no real mechanical benefit, besides being able to root all through Lady Grey's things. While we're in the area, we should probably rescue the archaeologist too, having to fight off Jack's bird, robot, lizard-like minions who have an exceptionally cool design. Jack's inclusion feels a bit shoehorned in, but we were missing a big bad so far, and he does play the part convincingly. The archaeologist isn't exactly happy we saved him, given we're partially the reason he came out of hiding and got caught again. And if you can go through Lichfield Graveyard, he tells us, we can find our way through to the prison that houses our mother. So that's where we're going next.
But you'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What up, invaders? Chris here. Right, so today I'm here at
Albion.
and it's Mommy
Breakout.
Day.
Walking up to the gravedigger's shack, you can hear him boasting to a friend of his about some grave robbing antics. That he stashed his loot across the graveyard and kept a helmet in his hut. When we walk in, we ask him about this secret passage business, and he tells us that a demon door is blocking the way, that an old dead man, Nostro the gatekeeper, could open. But well, he's dead. What comes next is fighting off mountains of the undead to get to Nostro's crypt. They're numerous but quite squishy, so you can take a large chunk of XP getting your combo multiplier up. We get to Nostro's crypt and he's actually looking for the armor the Gravekeeper stole, so we then need to go through all of his stashes, sometimes fishing or digging to get them up, and then get them to Nostro so his spirit will open the demon door. Then we fight through more undead to uncover a secret passage which seems to need their souls to activate. I thought getting to the prison there would be another stealth section, but the guards weirdly don't count as aggressive until you move into their aggro range, so you can't even get any sneaky headshots off on them either. I found you could just run past them all. Nobody follows you through doors in this game though, so that's a bonus. Mummy Dearest is locked up in a torture chamber, and she recognises us but thinks Jack of Blades is doing some sort of Jedi mind trick on her. When she waves that off, she's annoyed that we're playing into Jack's hands and that he wants to capture us both.
What the hell were you thinking coming here? Don't you see he'll take us both? Never mind. We've got to get out of here. Get this damn cage open.
We free her and make our daring escape, but as we run into a junction, Jack appears, proving her right, and blocks the place with spiritual barriers. Turns out he's been spying on everything we've done since the arena, after using the arena seal to listen in. He knows we know about him, our bloodline, and a magical sword that he'd like to grab for himself.
Yes, it appears your darling little daughter is alive too. She's told him all about the sword, and that wretched bloodline of yours. And now, my sweet, you're going to tell me where the key is.
This is where we then get escorted off to jail ourselves, stripped and shaved, ready to fight tooth and nail to not drop the soap. The jail has a weird racing theme to it. Besides being all oiled up, yearly the guards place bets on a big race that one day the prisoners are allowed to see the night sky. The winner of racing around the grounds gets a special reward. No, it's not clothes, it's a poetry recital by the warden, which leads us to sneaking in, trying to search his office for a key while he draws on.
Behold, the ball, the spirited sparrow. As it doth fly above our dreary jail, none can harm it, not even an arrow.
Good thing it's not his day job. The first time you do this search, you're destined to fail. You'll get caught and locked away, and a cutscene plays, stressing that we're in the can for about a year and Jack is free to roam Albion. So the next year comes around and we race again. This time, the poem is about Lady Grey when we win, and this time we actually get the key to escape. I free my fellow cellmates, either as an act of kindness or so someone else can tank a few arrow shots while I look for my stolen gear. They actually give you a full guard outfit here, but it doesn't look like you can use it to sneak out. I wondered if that was intended originally with the game. You obviously got the bandit set as well after a bandit stealth section. But instead, we grab Mum and run our way back out of the jail, encountering a special boss by the entrance, a Kraken. At this point, you've likely both the strength to put behind a big sword and the multi-strike spell to abuse when the thing rears its ugly head. When we get out, we're told the key to the sword will only make itself known to someone of our bloodline, so as long as he hasn't already captured our sister, we've got more time than we think. We'll need to head to Hook Coast to actually get this key, and we also get a Zenkai boost through the power of motherly love. There's a few new side quests to dip into, one disrupting a ritual that the minions are performing, trying to summon in some wicked automaton, but really we could just gloss over those to get to Hook Coast. We do some more spirit capturing to open another Cullis Gate, and then appear on a rather underutilised snowy township, going to a chapel that Mummy directed us to, and it leads us to seeing one of Jack's weird magical barriers. She asks us to come to Maze's quarters where a book might shed some light on our situation. Turns out a special incantation needs to be read to drop the shield, but once you do that, you'll be locked out of any other quests in the game until it's finished. There's some fun alternate alignment ones, like escorting a bandit to his execution, or the flip side of breaking a bandit out of his execution. The game has an all-you-can-eat buffet of choices here, and it probably works really well for playing a morally grey character, picking and choosing your alignment as it fits rather than being locked into anything. Did anyone watching have a favourite way to play? So my first playthrough was entirely good, but I almost regret not being an amorphous grey blob. Anyway, right, finale of the base game. We head back to the force field, this time being set upon by strange banshees as we do. The Hook Coast settlement has been cleared of any civilians, and the Guildmaster reads the incantation to drop the shield, and when he does, we spot something very strange on the other side. Maze, the filthy rat, has turned on us. Remember this guy from the first act? I knew he looked shifty.
You're alive? Yes, I was worried when you disappeared.
Jack appears and the two use our bloodline magic to steal the key, but Teresa frees us and we start a rather annoying boss fight against Maze. He likes to use the shield spell and some annoying AoE attacks. Again, at this point, I was essentially a health potion tweaker and therefore effectively immortal. We ran across the coast spanking him and eventually knock him down. He seems to think we're strong enough to defeat Jack and comes to this realisation while he's choking to death on his own blood. Like, if he just dropped the sword, I'd have gladly let him apologise and we could have teamed up. But no, he tells us almost too late, and he tells us why he did it.
I suppose I'm just an old coward boy. We don't all embrace death easily. For some of us, the only quest, is to escape death. Whatever the cost.
He also tells us that Jack is now starting a big ritual activating focus sites around Albion. They look a little bit like the Fist of Guthix from RuneScape. Now this leads to some rather cool set pieces of us fighting to get to those sites, being backed up by heroes of fame and NPCs whilst monsters teleport in. We basically reach each site right as Jack activates it, just enough time for him to taunt us. And so you do 3 of those before heading back to the guild for a final confrontation. The Guildmaster lays there among the burning ruins of the guild with one request of us.
Stop him, lad. For all our sakes, stop him.
We've grown massively among our journey, both with our skills and our size, and it's here we go beneath the guild into the Chamber of Fate to confront the man who raided our village and set us on this journey.
What a touching family reunion. The mother, the son, the daughter, and the sword. There's only one thing.
Having not taken enough from us already, he uses our mother's blood to charge his sword, and the boss fight begins, starting with taking out some of his mooks, and it then goes into a melee sprawl. Jack himself, the hero of heroes, is an accomplished fighter, and my only hope was to use a few spells to my advantage, dodging his magical sword swings and just eating a few of them to the face, as he taunts us about the night our house was burned. Jack then mixes things up, floating in the centre of the room, out of sword distance, tentacles of dark energy swirling around him. He forces us to dodge his magic, and we use ranged attacks against him, until eventually we've dealt enough damage, and he erupts in a giant scream. The void creature turns to energy, and our sister gives us the last moral choice of the base game. We either throw the sword itself into the void, or we strike her down with it to capture the power Jack had sought. This is where Fable 1 would traditionally end, Albion returning to peace with Jack's death, regardless of if you killed your sister or not. But as we're playing the Lost Chapters, there's another final act to go through. As we mourn the death of our mother, Scythe, one of the oldest heroes, appears at the boasting platform of the guild to talk of some happenings in the land of Albion. Creatures known as summoners are popping up in a far continent, spelling some sort of doom. To get to Scythe's continent, we'll need to capture the Fireheart and cross the sea on the Boat of the Drowned. As the greatest hero currently alive, we're the man for the job, entering the demon door and encountering the prophets of the Fireheart.
We are the prophets of the Fireheart.
It was your destiny to seek us out, hero.
The beast arises in the frozen north. Only he who claims the heart can stop it.
They're trapped in crystals and tell us the beast arises in the frozen north and only we can stop it. Jack is returning. This section involves the puzzle of day and night. You flip tiles to all be sun symbols to free the prophets, or you turn them to moons to kill them. Suns is the morally good option, but my god, I'm going to play you some of the dialogue for if you kill them, and it's ridiculously funny.
Spare my brothers!
I don't like this! I knew you were a nasty piece of work as soon as I saw you. I hope you choke on the fire heart.
We take the heart and head to the Hook Coast, assisting Briar Rose in fighting off summoners while we protect the fire heart. You might clock these summoner creatures were what the minions tried to summon in that one side quest, and they're exceptionally tanky and deadly for an enemy of their size. Take them all out and a ghost ship will appear. With it, we can cross to the Northern Waste to meet with Scythe directly. We retrieve a few guffins to speak to the Snowspire Oracle, having to raid an undead themed area, and he tells us a piece of magical machinery nearby will help us in stopping the beast. To open the Bronze Gate and face off against Jack, we need to collect 3 souls to open it. Briar will tell you quest by quest which soul you're looking for. The first is the soul of an arena champion. Now you can either return to the arena for the morally good route, fight through a few waves and take a soul there, or you can strike Thunder down if you're feeling especially evil, as after all, he's a nuisance and also a former arena champion. If you go the evil route, Jack encourages you all the way, it's also probably the quickest route. Again, all the evil quests tend to go a bit quicker for some reason. The second soul is acquired by either taking our mother's soul from her grave, which is funnily enough the good option, fighting off Jack's banshees as we do, or you just strike Briar Rose down who stood next to you, right after she's told you, hey, you need a female hero's soul. It's an interesting boss fight with all these clone mechanics, but then of course, you're left with just Jack alive who can translate these archaic fragments to tell you what the last soul is. Soul 3 has us looking for the oldest hero. Surprisingly, this isn't Scythe. You can either find Nostro in the graveyards and face off against his raised corpse for his soul, which he's quite happy to hand over if you'll fight him. Or you head back to the guild, where the guildmaster is paranoid by this point. He's hiding in the woods, you break in there, fight off a mountain of guards and kill him, which gets you some of the most emotionally charged dialogue in the game.
When Maze betrayed me, I knew he was a coward. But you are the biggest disappointment of all. You have been given too much power, and it has corrupted you.
You can't kill Scythe after this, even if you try. It's just straight through the Bronze Gate to face off against Jack himself, as we've once again been manipulated into accidentally empowering him somehow. Now the final fight against him is exceptionally hyped up. The music is dramatic, he hypes himself up with his gravelly dulcet tones, eventually popping out and he's in the body of a giant dragon, fighting him in the peak of a volcano. It's epic, it's got all the right setup, but, and I'm surprised I'm complaining about this, his health bar is way too small and he's too weak for a fight at this point in the game. I haven't compared any numbers, but he feels weaker, his health bar feels smaller than the other fight. Sure, he has all these cool flying around, shooty fire attacks, but you basically just slap him in his chops and shoot a few arrows at him. It's like the old boss fight, but with a new skin. Cool fight on paper, but not really in line with the max level protagonist that's hitting him. When you do beat him, you suck his soul into his old mask. You've got a real secret choice here. Either chuck the mask into Mount Doom, killing him forever, which leads Albion to living in a time of happy peace. Or you put the mask on, becoming one with Jack, I think he just jacks your body, and you become a scourge of the people of Albion. Either way, what happens next, well, you can check out my Fable 2 video for that. Or we can just jump straight to the conclusion. Let's probably do that one. Fable 1 really surprised me. I played it after having played both its sequels before and thought it would be this old mess of a game lacking any depth or mechanics. But in a lot of areas, it's more developed than what follows it. It's the foundation that defined what the franchise would turn into. Its mix of moral choice, British humour and surprisingly heartfelt storytelling. gave a sense of freedom that I haven't really clocked in a lot of games. You're not tied to the alignment system, you can go either way with it and still experience the opposite side of the spectrum's endings and cutscenes and quests. You're acting out what you want, you can do what you want when you want it. Be a good guy and still get corrupted and choose the bad ending, or be evil and redeem yourself. While later entries would experiment with more streamlined mechanics, I guess, they cut down a lot of the combat, or different tones, I think comparing the endings of Fable 2 and Fable 1 would show that this title had it right, and any changes kinda led to diminishing returns. The story of a nameless farm boy becoming a legendary hero, or villain, is a fairly cliche setup. But what makes Fable 1 special is how it subverts a lot of those tropes you'd expect with that setup. Heroes can lead bandits, quests can come from anyone, both good and evil. The heroes in the setting, it's almost a game for them. You might be the chosen one, but you're not treated like it by anyone as well. You don't feel especially busted compared to your peers. For all its quirks, its dated mechanics, and even its rough edges, I don't think it's that dated when I was playing it. It really stands as a classic. I think it holds up even today. The combat I found fun, even if it was fairly easy to make yourself unbalanced. The graphics did remind me of sort of PS1 Harry Potter, probably a little bit more polished than that. But the story, while predictable in some areas, really did surprise me in others. It's a great game, and I encourage you to give it a spin, especially with the new Fable on the horizon. Over and out, Smooth Brains.
Well, I'm rather fond of my soul. I'm not giving it up without a fight. Let's do this.